Good evening, everybody. I am super excited to be here with you tonight and have the opportunity to share with you a new product that we are launching in the very near future that I believe is foundational to everybody's wellness. And I want to talk to you about why that is and how this can have a profound effect on your life. The product I'm going to talk to you about tonight is actually called something called Beecardio. Now, Beecardio is a common name in the industry. You can go and Google Beecardio and you can find hundreds of brands of products that are going to make some claims. So I just want to be upfront here and say that as I talk about Beecardio, we do not claim to prevent, cure, diagnose. We don't do any of those things. But what I'm going to do is take a look at all the individual ingredients that are found within this supplement that is coming to you within a matter of days. And I think you're going to be super impressed and super excited to see how this can impact your life. So just to give you a little bit of background, my name's Rebecca Oakes, and I'm a brand partner here at Be Epic. And historically, as a young girl, I was actually diagnosed with a congenital heart condition. And I also had a rapid irregular heartbeat and started seeing heart specialists by the time I was in my late teens and almost at adulthood. I did not accept well what the specialist said to me about my health. He suggested that I would be somebody who would need a valve replacement and also be looking at a pacemaker when I was in my 40s or 50s. And I very strongly in my head refused to accept those words spoken over me. But what I did do is I started to research at a very young age what it took to have a healthy heart and a healthy cardiovascular system. And I started to live my life in that way, in that fashion. So I've always been a passionate person about keeping fit. I enjoyed cardiovascular activity. I researched food, healthy food, whole foods, foods that could damage my heart versus foods that could help my heart. And I also started looking into ingredients and consuming at a very safe dose things like coenzyme Q10 and something called L-Citrulline. So I was aware of these crazy words at a young age. And I'm very happy that I took that time to learn that, because I do believe that it did have a profound effect on keeping my body healthy. Now, having said that, when I hit my 40s, I did start to notice some of these indicators that not all was well with my heart. And so once again, I took a look at what I was doing and started to make decisions to change my lifestyle so that the symptoms I was experiencing would be minimized. And I just want to impress upon you that I'm not here to make medical claims, but I'm here to share some knowledge with you. I actually have, the book that I will be referencing. It's actually on my tablet. Oh, it just went and opened up. I was going to try to actually share the name of it with you, but I'll just read the name. It's called No More Heart Disease, and it's by Dr. Louis J. Ignarro. And I also looked into a lot of medical articles or journals, so medical publications, to talk specifically about ingredients, all right? So that you know that when I'm speaking about certain health issues, that it's really in relation to studies and I'm not making claims about our product. Anyway, the product Beecardio is a super exciting product to us, and it really has to deal with longevity and has to deal with the overall health of the body. And specifically, it is going to target the cardiovascular system, but I want you to be aware that what we're talking about here goes far beyond just the cardiovascular system. And so to make that a little easier to understand, I am going to actually share my screen with you tonight and do what I call a slideshow, because I'm very excited about this product right here that's coming out. And it's got this awesome color because it actually is a raspberry flavor. And I'm told it tastes fantastic. A lot of people would look at Beecardio and they would think, oh, this is for the fitness niche, and Rebecca likes to, be physical and work out. Well, I do that because it's actually a health issue for me. It gives me better mental health, but it's also really good for preventing heart-related issues because I am predisposed to have some of those conditions. So when we look at this particular product, it is actually a nitric oxide booster. And I want to speak specifically about nitric oxide. If I were to mention collagen, a lot of you would say, "Ooh, pick me, because I know we need collagen because my body, stopped making it when I was pretty young." And what I'm here to share with you is nitric oxide is a very similar situation. Your body actually really cuts down the production of nitric oxide, which you need. You really need this, this ingredient in your body. Now, you should be making this naturally, but there are things that happen to us that really cut back on this, and it can present negative side effects in our lives. So the benefits of nitric oxide may include, as the slide shares with you, or of this product, I should say, would be an increase in nitric oxide production by your body. It should support healthy blood pressure and cardiovascular health. It should increase energy and endurance without caffeine or stimulants. And this I actually feel. So if you're somebody who is involved in any kind of cardio workout, whether it's spinning or swimming or running or, hiking aggressively, tell me the name of the type of exercise you really enjoy. What I can share with you is when I take products that include ingredients such as L-Citrulline and coenzyme Q10, what I find happening is I get to that energy release fairly quickly, as well as I have incredible endurance. And it's not like it's not like caffeine at all. It is not a stimulant. It's not jittery. It is like just an opening up. The gas is flowing and I can actually run even harder. And so that's just from some of the ingredients that are in this product. So you should have, more endurance and have a great workout with it. It should also, because of what it's doing to the circulatory system, alleviate muscle soreness and promote a faster recovery from your activities. But I really am not here to promote the fitness world. I'm really here to talk about your longevity and why this product is so beneficial to, I think, every single adult in the world. I'm talking from brain function and preventing disease, like helping prevent, although I'm not making medical claims. You'll see when I start to go through the ingredients that there are strong correlations between the ingredients. Yes, you need to consult your doctor. If you're on any kind of medication, please talk to your doctor before, especially with the cardiovascular meds. Please talk to your doctor about using a product like this, because it's going to cause some great side effects, and it might change the dosage, or it might just be that your doctor says, you know what, this isn't for you. But I did notice that when I was doing my reading that this is where the world of pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals starts to blend, and doctors are using these products side by side a lot of the time. So it's really worth the conversation having with your medical caregiver. So I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about nitric oxide in particular. It's not a very sexy name, and people are like, well, I don't want to need a nitric oxide. So if I'm sharing with you this drink, Be Cardio, and it's nitric oxide function, you're probably asking, so what's that got to do for me? What's in it for me? And I think it's actually a really, really big deal. So big, in fact, back in 1998, 3 of these really smart dudes right here, they won a Nobel Prize because of what they discovered concerning nitric oxide in your body, all right? And it's that science that I really want to draw your attention to. So again, not making medical claims, but just looking at the science of what these 3 smart fellows discovered. So before I can explain that, because it's going to be really important to understanding why I'm so excited about Be Cardio, I want to talk about something called a metabolic pathway. Do not turn me off. I know people like the metabolic pathways. I just want you to know that as we're talking about Be Cardio and nitric oxide, that the concept of a pathway is important. Okay. It's just a series of steps. And for your body to naturally produce nitric oxide, it has to follow a series of steps. It's actually quite a complicated series of steps. It's not simple. So to try to draw a diagram as to how your body produces nitric oxide would be very challenging, and we would get bored and confused and not want to be here. But this series of steps, the problem is that it gets interrupted easily as we age and as we make certain lifestyle choices. So, why should you care about that? Because your body has a system of metabolic pathways, and they're used to synthesize nitric oxide, which your body needs. I'm going to tell you why in a moment. But you also need to understand that those pathways get shut down over time, or they get compromised over time. And then your body seriously reduces its production of nitric oxide. And that's what I'm going to talk about on this screen. Why should I care? if my body doesn't produce nitric oxide. So we talk to people about when they stop producing collagen, well, they're thinking aging, my skin gets wrinkly, my skin loses that elasticity, my joints get brittle. Collagen means aging. A lack of collagen means aging. So people spend hundreds of dollars putting collagen into their body. Well, a lack of nitric oxide means aging and potentially even death. And so I want to explain, what kinds of symptoms. It's not as simple as, oh, I got a few wrinkles, although oxidative stress definitely increases when you don't have nitric oxide. But we're talking brain health here, heart health. If you don't have your brain, quality of life is pretty impossible. At this point, I'm talking dementia. If you're dealing with heart issues and you're struggling with the severe cardiovascular disease, having a heart attack or stroke can be fatal. So it's one of the most important molecules for blood vessel health. Its most important function is actually vasodilation. So that is simply to open up the pathways through which blood flows in your body, through the blood vessels and arteries and capillaries that go into the farthest recesses of the tissues that you have. And when if blood flow is cut off, that certain parts of the body start to die, right? So as we age, that circulation is compromised and we don't function as well in the cellular level. And then we can start to see disease setting in. So vasodilation is super important because what it does is it relaxes the pathways through which blood flows. So all those blood vessels, it relaxes it and makes it supple and more youthful. And it makes them also widen so that they're not tight and constricted. Of course, you can already see that more blood flow is going to potentially reduce, blood pressure and some of those related problems. All right, but nitric oxide goes beyond the cardiovascular system, and that's because the cardiovascular system flows everywhere. You need blood to every part of your body. So it participates in virtually every cellular organ and organ function in the body. It is involved in transmitting nerve signals. So if we now think about the kinds of diseases where that's an issue, you need nitric oxide in the body to mitigate some of those symptoms. Regulating the immune system. Again, that is everywhere in your body. And when we get aggressive viruses and bacteria, you never know which part of your body is going to be the weakest and perhaps attacked by that virus. So having a strong immune system is so important to living an easier lifestyle. Regulating the body's stress response, because stress actually triggers a lot of these issues, right? Whether it's heart attacks or strokes or just autoimmune diseases. And it also prolongs the life of an organism, which would be us, right? So nitric oxide, it's not vanity. It's not about beauty. It's actually about maintaining a strong, healthy brain and a healthy heart and circulatory system. So it allows the blood, the nutrients, the oxygen to travel to every part of your body effectively and efficiently. And if you have a limited capacity to produce nitric oxide, which we all do once we start to hit 30 years of age, okay? In fact, I was just reading and listening to some work on this concept. It was scientific stuff I was listening to. Doctors have been doing, doctors do autopsies, of course, and in an unrelated issue, doing autopsies of children, they've noticed that heart disease is presenting in a person, even by the time that person's 8 years old. In children as young as 8, doctors can see through autopsies that heart disease is an issue. So you're already being compromised. You're compromising your body's ability to actually produce nitric oxide in a child if a heart condition is present. So a limited capacity to produce it is associated with heart disease, diabetes, erectile dysfunction, and quite frankly, it ages you. And so obviously the work done in studying this molecule is important. It's a big deal. All right. And so that's why I'm so excited about the product called Cardio, because it's going to address those pathways in the body that ultimately help your body produce more nitric oxide. And as I said, our nitric oxide levels begin to drop after about the age of 30. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could be caught here in life as these two young people are at the prime of life, being so strong and having such strong mind, having so much energy and being so attractive. Of course, it is a blessing to age as well. So the problem is that in large part of nitric oxide system is non-functional in most people in the Western industrialized nations. And that's due to our lifestyle, our food sourcing, our lack of movement. Our diets lack a lot of necessary nutritional precursors. Now, all that means is first, precursor means it comes first. We have to have the right nutrition in the body in order to make nitric oxide, right? So it has to drive the entire system of metabolic pathways in order for nitric oxide to be synthesized. And that is really key to understanding that as we're aging now, hitting 30, making some of these bad decisions, or maybe we're just predisposed to having some of these health conditions, our body is shutting down its production of it. Many of us eat too many saturated fats or damaged fats, especially damaged omega-6 fats, those vegetable oils that have been overheated. Many of us are eating processed foods, a lot of refined sugars. This is going to, once again, work against your body's production of nitric oxide. We lack a healthy gut bacteria simply because we're exposing ourselves to so much sanitization, whether it's like swishing in our mouth with mouthwash or putting hand sanitizer on our hands. We are definitely impacting the healthy gut bacteria that's going to result in a strong nitric oxide synthesis in the body. We have increased presentation of high cholesterol and high blood pressure in our society, and seeing that dramatic increase in cardiovascular diseases and their interrelated illnesses, it's actually a serious issue in the Western industrialized world, and it is actually hugely responsible for the massive decrease in nitric oxide in the human body. So if you start to look into, nitric oxide, I encourage you not to just Google it, because a lot of the data is actually very incomplete. If you're going to go and look at the public medical publications, that's a better idea, because these little Google sites that you could go to, they actually just make some big fancy claim and get people all nervous, and it's not actually accurate data. And the science that is behind the cardio product that I'm so excited about is super, super important. So nitric oxide, this is actually a sentence I stole out of a medical journal that I was reading. Nitric oxide is the key to the kingdom of healthy aging. It absolutely is. In my mind, it's more important than collagen, although collagen is pretty important. So every age-related human disease is characterized by low blood flow, whether it's heart disease or dementia, right? So we need to have nitric oxide in our body to have that proper blood flow. We need to have these precursors in our body to have that proper blood flow. But it is a complicated pathway or a series of steps to actually getting your body to convert the nitrates you eat into whether it's a supplement or like a whole food supplement or food itself, for it to end up as nitric oxide in our tissues. That is a very, very complicated process. And the problem is that most nitric oxide products in the market today, they're actually obsolete by the time they're designed. They're incomplete in their research and in their data. A lot of people might say, okay, so you're telling me I need to eat well, I need to eat the right vegetables, I need to watch my fats, the kind of fats I eat, that I have to have the right proteins. If I exercise, if I do all that, then I'm going to make it. Partially true, not entirely true. All right. So you're going to increase your body's chances of making it for sure, but you are going to need help as you age, just because the aging process just reduces the output, the synthesis of the nitric oxide. So to give your body maximum nitric oxide potential, our product Beecardio has a system standard technology that delivers the necessary nutritional precursors, all of them, the right kind of nutrition that you need to have in your body is available in our product to you in one small serving, and it will drive the entire system of metabolic pathways to result in nitric oxide synthesis. All right. So that is super exciting. Typically a healthy typical body, I'm not talking about people, say, who maybe have type 1 diabetes and all of a sudden a pathway isn't there for them. But the average healthy person is going to have access to the entire system of metabolic pathways for nitric oxide synthesis. And that is super exciting to me. And when I started looking at the ingredients that are in this product, a lot of people are like, nitric oxide, what's that? What's that? And I'm like, ooh, L-Citrulline, ooh, CoQ10. This is good stuff in here. And so I want to speak with you or share with you very briefly some key parts about these ingredients. So the first ingredient on the list is L-Citrulline. This is the superstar. This is the rising superstar that is changing your body's ability to produce nitric oxide, because essentially without it, you actually can't. Your body is almost at, it's losing its ability to do that. So what it's going to do, what this L-citrulline is going to do, it's amino acid. It basically transforms itself into L-arginine, which is another kind of amino acid in your body that you can produce. But here's the key. L-arginine and nitric oxide, when your body can actually produce them, they get processed through the liver and the intestines, and they actually get broken down before your body can synthesize it and put it to work, unless you introduce L-citrulline, right? So introducing L-citrulline, what that does, it actually survives the breakdown that can happen in the liver and the intestines, and it makes it through, and it actually converts into L-arginine, which then transforms into nitric oxide. So it's really important to understand that if you have a cardio product and they do not list L-citrulline on the label, it's going to be questionable if you're actually going to produce nitric oxide in your body. So it is the #1 ingredient in this product. Super exciting. What it does, it increases nitric oxide synthesis and the bioavailability of nitric oxide. It is the vasodilator that opens up pathways. It also actually helps with lipolysis. So if you know what lipolysis is, if you've done the keto diet, for example, you do, it's the breakdown of your own fat. It's your liver metabolizing your fat, and in some cases spitting out ketones. This L-citrulline will actually help lipolysis happen in the body. It also helps with mitochondrial biogenesis. Now, every single cell in your body has a little engine, and it's called mitochondria. So think of every little cell as a car that has an engine, and you know, to keep your car functioning properly, you have to maintain the fluids. You've got to change the oil, because if the oil gets dirty and used up, the car dies. And it is the same with your cells, mitochondria. They need to be kept clean, and the antioxidants and L-citrulline are key factors in keeping the mitochondria clean and allowing mitochondria biogenesis, which is creation, to happen. So even with protein synthesis, if you're working out in the gym, this is why this is so good as a pre-workout drink. It actually helps with protein synthesis in the body. So L-citrulline, huge rock star in the world, and definitely needs to be in a cardio product. Now, L-arginine is another amino acid. Again, your body can make it, but it really gets compromised as we age. And as I said, it breaks down in the liver and intestine, and it very rarely then, as we're getting older, can actually be converted into nitric oxide. So we put it into your body. You can actually find it in a lot of foods, but again, processing that becomes really difficult. It's going to help your kidneys remove waste. It's going to help you with your immune system and your hormone functioning. It's going to dilate and relax the arteries. It's just really good for the central nervous system. This is something that you definitely want your body to produce. But again, without the first precursor called L-citrulline, it is hard for your body to make L-arginine, which again, we need to make nitric oxide. Another particular nutritional component that you need is the hawthorn berry. It neutralizes free radicals. So you think about that high antioxidant load that you need to provide the missing electron. You've got free radicals are like bloodsuckers on your cells, and they latch onto a healthy cell because they need that electron, and they slow down and give it a slow death and make cells sick. So when you have something like hawthorn berry in your body, it's that antioxidant load that neutralizes that free radical. And then if you're drinking lots of water and perhaps enjoying a detox, eating really clean, you can flush that free radical out of your body, because otherwise you can't get rid of those free radicals. So hawthorn berry, super important to helping with your heart function. And a lot of times doctors will put that together with medications. It also, by the way, can help you with hair growth and lowering your anxiety levels, your anxious feelings. Beetroot, another awesome healthy heart food. It actually helps convert the nitrates that you're eating into nitric oxide. It also helps protect the liver. Beetroot is very good for your liver, right? Great food for liver health. The beta cyclodextrin. So it improves solubility, but what I really like about it is it actually blocks the plaque formation, and it can help with melting away the built up plaque in your arteries and dissolve those cholesterol crystals. So you think about this now, you know, a lot of people are on a lot of diverse meds. Of course, if you're taking a product like this and you're already on cholesterol meds or high blood pressure meds, I think you should talk to your healthcare provider or at least your pharmacist to see, will this help me? And maybe I can reduce my dose and go on a journey of getting healthy and see where I'm at in all my blood levels as you go through this journey. CoQ10, like I said, I knew about this back in the early 90s, actually late 80s. And so this actually is really important for improving your heart health and the way that your body regulates blood sugar. It's actually preventative in terms of the cancer world. They consider it important to, you know, having a healthier lifestyle. It actually can help with skin. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but in the beauty department, there'll be a lot of CoQ10 in skincare products. And that's because it just deals with that oxidative stress, which can lead to things like aging and cancers and whatnot. This particular product, this cardio product, I just thought I'd drop this here. You know, a lot of people suffer from migraines. Migraines is such a diverse, broad topic, but, you know, they're looking for things that they can take to alleviate their symptoms. And of course, we cannot make medical claims, but I have seen people who, you know, when their migraines are triggered by weather changes, a product like B-Cardio can help alleviate some of that pain, some of that symptom. So it's something to consider if you're struggling with that particular health issue. And this is just a form of pepper. Of course, we know that black pepper is good for fighting inflammation and it's good for insulin resistance. It actually improves your blood cholesterol levels. It does a lot of great things as an ingredient all by itself. So these ingredients, they're called nutritional precursors. And this particular product, B-Cardio, has all of them in one product that you only need a very small dose of. I have seen similar products on the market to stuff like this, but I share with you that they were a lot more expensive than this particular product is. So you can see why I'm so excited as a person that, you know, started dealing with cardiovascular disease at a very young age. This is just right up my alley, and it's about longevity. It's about having a youthful, energetic life and a high quality of life. You know, in terms of looking at how complicated nitric oxide production is, if I were to spend time going through a science lesson, I'd bore you to death. You'd fall asleep. This is complicated. It's too hard to explain. And I actually kind of made the color go away because I didn't want you to focus on it. What I want to share with you is that basically what's happening with a product like ours, all right, it has all the necessary precursors to drive the entire metabolic pathway. And remember, it's those pathways that get interrupted that stop your body from producing nitric oxide and from synthesizing it. So we can support every metabolic pathway to be able to produce nitric oxide in the body, well, we get some pretty amazing things happening in terms of our quality of life. And so just for easy layman's terms, this L-Citrulline amino acid, when we can get it into our body, it naturally starts a process, a pathway to transform it into L-arginine. And then that transforms into nitric oxide. And you have a much healthier heart, you have a much healthier circulatory system, and you have less evidence of aging in your life. So thank you for listening to this overview. If you'd like to know more about this product, watch for announcements in this group because it's going to be coming to us soon. And as soon as it does, please get back to the person who invited you into this group and ask them how you can get your B-Cardio ordered. Have a good evening.